You grab your phone to check something. Honestly, you don't even remember what. That was 40 minutes ago. Somewhere along the way, between a guy struggling with a jar and a raccoon savoring grapes in slow motion, you lost track of yourself completely. The strange part? You weren't having fun. Not really. You were just consuming, mindlessly, like a machine churning through commands it barely understands. Here's the truth nobody tells you about that feeling. It's not about weakness or laziness. That's your brain, one of the most complex systems in the universe, doing exactly what it's wired to do. And right now, it's getting totally outplayed by the rectangle in your hand. See, your brain runs on predictions. Every second, it's guessing what's coming next. Guess right? Nothing remarkable happens. Guess wrong. You get a burst of dopamine, not a reward, but a signal. Hey, that was unexpected. Pay attention. Learn something. For most of human history, this little signal fired maybe a dozen times a day. A rustle in the bushes, a stranger's face, fruit in an odd spot. The system was built for a world that changed slowly. Then, everything changed. Short-form content, TikToks, Reels, Shorts, isn't just entertainment. It's a prediction error generator. Every quick cut, every new clip is a tiny surprise. The algorithm isn't chasing what you like. It's hunting the edge of your prediction system and camping right there. And it's brilliant at it because it's got data from hundreds of millions of minds, and it's been tuned for engagement, for that dopamine flicker, non-stop for years. Your brain, though? It's running on firmware that hasn't seen a big upgrade in about 200,000 years. Not exactly a fair fight. Here's how it shakes out. When you scroll, your prefrontal cortex, the part that plans, thinks ahead, decides what matters, quietly powers down. Not because it's broken, but because it's expensive, and the dopamine circuit doesn't need all that brain power. The loop from stimulus to reward runs on older, faster wiring. You're not witnessing brain rot. Your mind is just rerouting, sidelining its most costly parts since the content never asks much of them. Now, here's the twist nobody wants to hear. The content isn't dumb. The problem is your brain's getting used to it. Dopamine systems adjust to their baseline. Flood them with a stream of micro surprises, and that baseline climbs. What used to feel interesting, a deep article, a slow-building conversation, a book with a payoff that sneaks up on you, stops sparking enough signal to compete. They feel dull because your prediction threshold has quietly crept upward, nudged by 10,000 raccoon videos. Neuroscientists call this tolerance and sensitization. It works whether the input's a substance or a behavior. The brain just tracks the average stimulation and recalibrates what counts as interesting. That's why, after an hour of scrolling, you get that gray, fuzzy feeling. Not satisfaction, just static. You've flooded the system without transmitting anything. Right now, the signal to noise is nearly zero. And here's the unsettling truth. The app knows this. It's not designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you just unsatisfied enough to stay. Happy people? Close the app. Step back. This is happening to 5 billion people all at once. The world's attention span, really just 5 billion individual prediction engines, gets fine-tuned in real time by a handful of recommendation algorithms optimized for engagement. Not enrichment, not understanding, not even real pleasure. Attention is the foundation for every bit of civilization, knowledge, relationships, problem-solving. They all need sustained, focused, costly attention. The ability to sit with something difficult and not turn away. And now we've built, practically at scale, an architecture intended to disrupt that. Not out of evil, just business. The goal was engagement. The result is a species learning to want things faster than it can understand them. Zoom out far enough, and it feels less like a tech problem and more like an evolutionary clash. An ancient system faced with a world so new that nothing in our biology could prepare for it. For the first time, humans have to actively choose what to focus on, because something outside us is ready to make that choice if we don't. But here's the upside. Once you start seeing the mechanics, the prediction loop, the higher baseline, the manufactured unease, it loosens the grip a little. Not totally. The loop keeps running, the dopamine flickers pop. But you can observe the loop, and that's crucial. You're not broken. Boredom, the real, uncomfortable, flat kind, isn't a malfunction. It's a reset. Your brain's saying, nothing to predict here, and that's weird. Maybe something interesting will come from being bored. Deep attention wasn't erased. It was just starved. Feed it slow stuff, and it'll struggle at first, like a limb waking up after falling asleep. But it does wake up. That stubborn old firmware isn't going anywhere. Raccoon videos are loud. Loud things are easiest. But the quieter, slower, stranger things, they're still around. You just have to choose them. And the fact that you have to choose over and over against a little friction might not be a flaw in being human. It might just be the whole point.